Hey, what's going on, RC drivers? I'm just gonna jump right into today's video because look at what I have in my hand. I have the new Losi Mini-B, and this thing looks so cool. It looks like a mini competition racing buggy. And if you're a mini or micro fan, I gotta say, I think you are going to want one of these. And if you've never had a mini or micro car before, this one's gonna push you over the edge. It is just that cool. Now, as you guessed, it's based on the TLR22 because it has the same look, and it actually shares a lot of the same components as the Mini T 2.0, which is an awesome truck. There's so many people that are enjoying that right now. And I think a lot of people are going to get this, maybe have the pair, or just if you're a buggy fan, you are gonna get this because it's that cool. I mean, as soon as I pulled this thing out of the box, I just wanted to drive it, but of course, got to show it to you guys first in pristine condition. So let's start going over the details, and first up, check out the body on this thing. So we've got a scaled down 22 body, cab forward, and this has the blue paint scheme on it. So there's blue and white paint scheme, there's also a black and white paint scheme, and then there is a yellow paint scheme, which I wish I actually had gotten because, you know, I'm here on the East Coast, we run a lot of yellow, and of course, yellow is faster. If I'm wrong, tell me in the comments below. But anyway, all the paint schemes look really cool on this. You know, it's got this kind of tear design or stripe design, and it comes decal from the factory, large wing on the back for some downforce. Just overall, just a really cool buggy look that mimics that popular 22. Now the wheels and tires on this, obviously we've got the dish wheels that we've seen before on the Mini T, and they've got BK bars on the back, and then up front we have a new buggy tire. And this is of course a narrower tire than the rear because it's a front buggy tire, and it's a taper pin style of tread on this, the Losi taper pin. And it just looks awesome. It's going to be a lot of fun to run on dirt, and I'm sure carpet and turf as well, as you know. That's where a lot of people are running the Mini Ts. Those are hooking up right out of the box. But we've definitely got some well-known traction treads on this, and that's just going to add to the fun factor of it. Now, this is actually a 16 scale. So the Mini T 2.0 is an 18 scale. This is 16, and the reason why it's a different scale is because they use the Mini T 2.0 front and rear clip on this. And so to make everything proportionate, they went with a longer chassis, of course longer body to accommodate that. And so it is a little bit bigger of a scale. It's not gonna be, you know, the perfect sizing to your Mini T 2.0, but nonetheless, I think it is perfect. The dimensions look proper, and I think the guys at Losi did a great job there. All right, let me take the body off. It's just a single clip in the back that you have to pull off, and the front of the body slips in underneath the shock tower. You're gonna pull it up and over the gear cover here, and it just slides right off. And inside it pretty much looks like a Mini T 2.0. And of course I'm gonna tell you about the changes, but let me start off front, tell you about some of the features as well. So we've got the swept front arms, adjustable turnbuckles, ball bearings inside of the steering knuckles, and it's just a mini TLR22 setup. We've got the swinging rack for the steering in the back, and the big change is actually the shock tower. It's got a buggy shock tower now. It doesn't have the body mounts to mount the truck body, but the shocks are the same. Plastic threaded oil-filled shocks, 22.5 weight oil in there. And let me just switch around to the rear because the rear is pretty much the same as the Mini T 2.0 as well. We've got oil-filled shocks, different shock tower to accommodate the buggy styling and the buggy wing mount. But down below, you know, we've got the H-arms that go out to composite hubs, adjustable turnbuckles up top, and again, the only real change is the rear shock tower and the wing mount. And the wing mount actually has the little brace on the top as well. So again, everything looks appropriate for it being a buggy. And now onto the chassis itself. We have an aluminum chassis on here, just like we had on the Mini T, but again, that length is now longer. It is beveled on the sides here to add a little bit of rigidity, kicked up in the front. New longer plastic side guards to accommodate the chassis. And the only other real big change here is it now has a rubber band, or sorry, a rubber O-ring with a little tab on it to secure the battery. And the waterfall has a little nub for the body mount there. But everything else, Mini T 2.0, the transmission is pulled off of that. We've got the lay down transmission with the mid motor set up and slipper clutch underneath, gear differential in the back, metal dog bones. And then let's get into the electronics. So there's the Spectrum SX107 servo with the servo saver on there, 280 size motor, 47 turn, and then the HRX speed controller and receiver combo in the center there. EC3 connectors, so we've seen that stuff before. It works pretty well for a brush system. A lot of you guys are probably going to ask, are they going to have a brushless version? I don't have the exact answer for that, but as we've seen from Losi before, once you have a brush version, they usually follow up with a brushless version later on down the road. But who could wait that long? I would want to get this because I need to drive it. And we're going to drive it in a few more minutes. Let me tell you about the rest of this. And as you guessed, it is a ready to run. It comes out of the box just like this. So of course, it's going to come with all of the support gear that you need. Comes with the 2-channel, 2.4 gigahertz radio with digital trims and foam steering wheel. Even gives you the AAA batteries to go inside of that. They also give you a charger, a box wrench and an Allen driver, your bind plug, and your instruction manual, which if you've never driven an RC car before, you should read that. And even if you've driven RC cars before, read it over in case there's some important information on the inside. But guys, this thing is so cool. I need to take it out and tear up some dirt right now. It's gonna be a lot of fun on tracks, backyard bashing, parking lots. I think you could even run it in your house. So let's go outside right now, pull the throttle on the Mini-B. All right guys, now I'm at Danbury Hobby Center in Danbury, Connecticut, and we're gonna wheel the Mini-B around their indoor track. All right guys, I got a fresh pack in the buggy and a couple jumps set up around this track. One through the corner just to make things a little rough. And it's pretty quick for a brush system. Of course, it's got a lot of steering on the carpet here. But it was fun on the BMX track. A little cross up there, that was cool. And it's pretty fun here as well. I've already been ripping some laps around. Oh, we flipped it over. All right, so we're back on the wheels. Obviously, the flat landings are a little rough when you're on carpet, but just back off a little bit. There we go. Drop the front end a little bit. Settles right in. We could almost go full throttle around this track. There we go. Nice tight corners. This thing is a lot of fun. It just looks cool out there. As a guy who just loves buggy racing, I like this as much as the truck. It's quick. It's quick for the brush system. It certainly handles really well with that longer chassis. I wonder if I could go full throttle. Let's try full throttle. Oh, I had to back off for that corner. There we go. Just back off on that jump. Get that nose down for that buggy. Whoa. Dove in hard on that corner. A little cross up there. This thing is a blast. People are going to love this buggy. I can already see people putting the option parts on. All the Mini-T option parts fit on it. Drop a brushless system in here. There we go. Look at that. Very cool. Oh. Awesome. This is so cool. All right, guys, I think it's time to head back to the studio and we'll wrap up the review. The Losi crew, they did it again. I mean, take a look at this thing. They scaled down the TLR22 into the Mini-B, and it absolutely fits the part. It performs really well. It's a lot of fun to drive, and Losi just keeps on shocking us with really cool releases. I like what they're doing. Now, over on the BMX track, it was fun to drive over there, but it took a little bit of getting used to. When it first hit the dirt, the surface was a little loose, and with these BK bars on the back, it kind of wanted to do donuts. So I started to just drive the thing around, and I think when the tires actually break in, you get a bit more grip, but these tires are really for a packed surface. So I searched around on the track, found a nice few flat spots that were pretty well packed, and it did a lot better there. And that's when I was able to really, ramp up the throttle, get a little air off of some of the jumps and kind of just rip around corners and just have a lot of fun driving this buggy. I mean, that's what it's really all about, just kind of going out and having fun with whatever surface you have available to you. But while I was driving on the BMX track, I also went onto some of the paved corners, and that's where this thing really hooked up, so I was able to zip around really quick. It was a lot of fun to just carve the corners and stuff. But back onto the jumps, when I was able to get some air, the thing handled really well. It was a lot of fun to get some air with it. With the brush system, it doesn't have a ton of power behind it, but you will get a little bit of air time. It is pretty quick on the straights and stuff. It all depends on the size of the area that you're running in, but I did really enjoy it out there on the dirt, and it definitely looks cool when it is throwing up dirt off the rear of the tires. After that, I went over to the Danbury Hobby Center. Quick shout out to those guys in Danbury, Connecticut, for allowing me to go in and use their track, which is basically a mini and micro track. Threw a few jumps out there, and that's where this thing was, a lot more planted. Was a lot more fun to rip around because there was a lot more traction on the carpet surface. Over those big BMX type plastic jumps, there wasn't any real lander, so if you flat land, this thing will pop back up and maybe roll over and stuff. So what you want to do is actually, when you go off the jump, just let off as soon as you're hitting the lip of the jump, and maybe even hit a little brake if the nose looks like it's up. You want to really land the front wheels of this thing first if you're flat landing it, and that will kind of just glide the rest of the buggy down, and it'll settle in rather nice. But if you're just gonna launch that thing off of the jump and it flat lands, it might pop up and roll over. Through the corners, it steered pretty well. On the sweeping corner, I was able to just full throttle it through there. Just a quick tap of the brakes was necessary around the tighter corners of the track. But that's really where this thing felt at home, and I think a lot of people are going to want to pick these up for racing, and that's when you guys, I think, are really going to have a lot of fun with it. That's where I had a lot of fun with it, and a few of the guys that did come into the hobby shop and saw me running it, I think they thought it was pretty cool there as well. And yeah, it's a great buggy. The runtime is really good. I mean, I didn't clock it, unfortunately, but you get some decent runtime out of this. The speed is very good for a brush system in there, and you guys know they already have some brushless systems available, so you could go and hop it up with that, or use a lot of the Mini-T hop-ups as well to just create a really cool off-road buggy. The only durability issue I encountered with it was when I went off of one of the jumps, it did pop a steering tie rod off, and I just popped it back on, and I've been going ever since. So that's the only thing I have to report so far to you guys. It's fun. It's a blast. I think a lot of people are really going to get into this. If you already have a Mini T, you're probably going to want a Mini-B. It is that cool. And, you know, if you have a local track near you, I bet you're going to be there racing all the time. But don't have a local track, just set something up in the parking lot. Heck, if you have a big living room, you could you know, set up some jumps there as well. And the Mini-B is just going to be a blast for so many people. All right, let me know in the comments what you think of the Mini-B. I'm excited to run this thing some more. While you're down there, please hit that subscribe button and the notifications bell. Throw the video a like, and we'll see you back soon for some more RC Driver videos.